Welcome to Boomer Live. Today we are going to talk about the game between Delhi Capitals and Sunrisers Hyderabad. This game was a crucial game for both the sides from the tournament's perspective because Delhi Capitals were languishing at seventh position at 8 points and they had to win this in order to go up. And all of a sudden they're in fifth position after this win. And even for Sunrisers Hyderabad, after having lost two games in a row, this game was an important one. Now it's their third loss in a row, and there are plenty of questions to answer. And we'll be talking about those questions, what they'll have to answer going ahead in the tournament as well. I have Sandipani to talk about the game, of course. Sandipani, what a game. What a batting performance by David Warner. If you wanted to choose a grudge match, this couldn't have gotten any better. You would be. I was really disappointed that David Warner did not get to that three-figure mark. He totally deserved it. But in the mid innings break, as Robin Powell told, he just denied Robin Powell of taking that single and told Robin Powell to just go and smack it and take the scoreboard ahead. And that's a total team man, and you gotta love this guy's performance. And what a game to come good, isn't it?
I mean, at the start of this tournament, if you would have asked David Warner that what is that one team you want to score against, it would have definitely been SRH. A grudge match indeed, and what a game to show his true potential. We have
Yeah.
always known that. See, David Warner did not have a very good record against SRH, given that he had been playing for SRH in the last, say, 6, 7, 8 years, leading them to a title win. So I think the last time that he played for Delhi Daredevils against SRH, in 2 games he had just 8 runs. But again, he
Right.
loves Braeburn. He has been in absolutely fantastic form. He averaged around 50 coming into this game, and now it has just swollen up to around 55 to 60. So
Right.
yeah, we the more we talk about it, the more we just stand in awe of what David Warner has achieved in IPL. David Warner, KL Rahul, the two of them have been one of the most bankable, like two of the most bankable stars with the bat in IPL in recent years. I mean,
Right.
every year, even you can even add, say, Shikhar Dhawan to that list. So these three players have almost gone about it, scored their runs, like at very easily, in fact. Because and again, I think today's the major thing that went wrong for both the teams was, I think, the injuries
Right.
concerning some of their bowlers. I think Sunrisers Hyderabad had to change completely. Like they brought in Sean Abbott, Shreyas Gopal, and say Kartik Tyagi. Kartik Tyagi showed great promise, even though with that pace and even that death over bowling, Kartik Tyagi was brilliant. I think, but they dearly missed Natarajan. Natarajan has been performing brilliantly for SRH in the death overs. Not just this year, even the last year he was injured. Even the year before that, he has always been a brilliant bowler for SRH at the death. And we could see the lack of bowlers that they have at the death. So also, I think today they did not have the batting depth going into the game. Say a batting depth of somebody like Jagdish Suchit or Washington Sundar was probably injured, and say a Marco Jansen. I think Shreyas Gopal and Sean Abbott coming in at 7 and 8 was a bit tricky choice for me because Suchit has been performing really well with the ball. So why opt for Shreyas Gopal when you have Suchit? And also, I think Sean Abbott got a game. They focused on their bowling. They could have also gone for Romario Shepherd, which could have been a batting, more like a batting all rounder, and that fifth bowling option. Sean Abbott bowled well, but I mean, it's a 200 plus game. All the bowlers traveled. Most of the
Right.
bowlers traveled.
True that. No, you cannot, agree anything more because that was one of those games where David Warner looked in exemplary form, and Robin Powell as well. He came good when it mattered the most for them. Let's talk about this game in more detail because you just felt from the get go that Delhi Capitals wanted to take control. Rishabh Pant's that cameo of 26 odd just set the tone for them. That's when they absolutely took off. David Warner over of Umran Malik is when they gained the momentum. Then Rishabh Pant continued from there. Raman Poole initially took quite a bit of time, but then David Warner was, timing it so perfectly that he didn't feel the pressure at all. Um, Sunrisers might be now feeling the heat, isn't it? We've seen teams getting stuck. They were on very good song. They were on number two on the table at some stage, and now all of a sudden they're number six. And this could possibly mean that their chances are, starting to look very grim because you have a Delhi Capitals who have very good run rate. RCB won a game yesterday, and they have a game against RCB in a couple of days' time as well. What should Sunrisers be doing good from here on? Because we've spoken about them at the start of the tournament. Those holes, which are majorly a big issue, which did not seem for them for quite a bit of time, but now all of a sudden those holes are opening up and they are starting to get exposed, isn't it?
I think this was the sort of a tournament that we expected from Sunrisers Hyderabad at the top. Like losing these games, the dead bowling was always going to be an issue. Somebody has to support Natarajan and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar did a brilliant job. Also, I think they missed Marco Jansen greatly. Not just Marco Jansen, they just needed an opening bowler. We saw that Umran Malik was introduced into the attack in the power plays for the first time, and we all know that David Warner loves pace. He just traveled in that first over, and that just set the tone for the innings. Even before that over, I think Delhi Capitals were again struggling a bit at 12 for 1 in the first 3 overs. Bhuvneshwar Kumar bowled those brilliant 2 overs,
Yeah,
but he did not have any support from the other end. And with
absolutely.
that over from Umran Malik, I think the runs just started to flow for them. And again, Kartik Tyagi coming in showed some great promise, but they have to define their roles. Like when Marco Jansen and Natarajan was in the camp, and say a Washington Sundar or Jagdish Suchit, they had their roles specified. I mean, Suchit will come in the middle overs. Umran Malik and Suchit will operate in the middle overs. Marco Jansen and 2 overs of Bhuvneshwar Kumar at the top, and at the end you also have Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming in and with Natarajan. And Marco Jansen can finish his spell within the 15th or 16th over. So I think they had their roles defined, and they were breathing very easily with the tosses. I think the tosses have been still going on their way, but the concern has been that they have considered over 200 runs 3 times this season, and that
Right.
those are the only 3 times that they have lost. They have batted second 8 times, out of which 5 they won, and the 3 times the team managed to score 200 against them, they could not manage to chase it.
So
So
then I'll come to you on
yeah.
that because the last couple of matches, their bowling has been exposed and exposed really bad. Let's talk about that game against Gujarat Titans where their bowling was exposed. And now today again, their bowling really looks like a team which is troubled at this point. And even the last game, it just didn't look good. Though Abhishek Sharma and everybody was giving them the start, but you knew they were not in the game for the longest period of time. But in the last game, they considered 200 plus against Chennai Super Kings and they lost by a good margin of runs. Yet again, it was Nicholas Pooran who tried to push them to a good total, and you can say it was respectable to lose by a smaller margin than that. But now is their bowling a major concern because teams are lining up for them. It just looks like they do not have enough penetration. Umran Malik teams are looking to target him at this point. And today you saw he bowled the fastest ball of the season, one of the second fastest ball ever in IPL history, and he got smoked for four, and that was one of the best shots of the game as well. You reckon at this point on good decks, especially their bowling is being exposed a lot more.
I think not just the pace, you also need line and length. With 157 kilometers per hour, you will probably be able to dismiss a number 8, number 9, number 10 with that
Yeah,
pace. But not a top class batsman like Robman Powell or David Warner. They just love the pace coming onto the ball. And also, that 157 kilometers per hour, that ball was a half volley. You are bowling the 20th over, you are bowling to a batsman who is set, who is playing at some 60 from 35, 36, and you are bowling that juicy half volley. So you are
right.
meant to travel. The bouncer which he came back with in the last ball was impressive to see, and Robman Powell like missed it. All in all, I think Sunrisers Hyderabad, it's the bowling has been a big concern for them, especially because in the last 3 games they have conceded 195, 200 something, and again 207 today. So it does not look good for them, and all the 3 games that they have lost. So they are
Yeah.
winning tosses. They are winning tosses most of the time. They have won 8 of the 10 tosses, and still they have won just 5 games of the 10. So I think the pitch also has a big factor to play over here because with the games that they were winning, we were seeing that Sunrisers Hyderabad were putting on a template performance, the kind of performance that they love. Fast bowlers coming in, hitting the pitch hard, getting those early wickets, then troubling the batsman throughout the middle overs, like cramping them
Yeah.
for runs. And in the death overs, mistakes were meant to come because batsmen were under immense pressure. And Natarajan bowling those Yorkers and Bhuvneshwar Kumar with his slow change of pace and Yorkers was doing the job for them. But right now, we are seeing that teams have been smart enough to target Umran Malik early on. Rituraj Gaikwad set the tone for it in the last game that they faced against CSK. He was fearless against Umran Malik, and today David Warner again. Also, today I feel that they did not get the team composition right. I feel Sean Abbott, yeah, he has done exceedingly well for his side for Sydney Sixers in the Big Bash League, but that's about it. He hasn't shown much promise in for playing for the international side in Indian or Asian conditions as well. So I think that was sort of a questionable choice. But having said that, you have to be fair to them because
Yeah,
they are they don't really have many options. I don't know whether Marco Jansen was fit or unfit, but I think if he was fit, Marco Jansen was at least giving them those 2-3 overs in the power play, where batsmen were looking to target him, but he was being
yeah,
economical in the first 2-3 overs. He was getting hit in the last 2-3 overs, but today we saw that the bowlers just couldn't settle down. I think that was there was a phase right before the strategic timeout, right before the eighth over, when Shreyas Gopal came in and Rishabh Pant and Warner just found it a bit difficult to target him in that over. He just considered one
yeah,
run. And after the timeout, Pant came out all guns blazing. I mean that was the moment where the momentum shifted. Even though he got out in the last ball of that over, Shreyas Gopal travelled everywhere, travelled for three sixes and one four, and also the wicket that he got, that was of a full toss. So I think they got a bit the selection. I think Suchit deserved a place in the team. Again, I have said that he did nothing wrong.
yeah.
It was sort of a thing like he was brought in for 2 games, he performed exceedingly well, and then he was dropped. So
Yeah.
I think they are going to bring Suchit back for the next one. And they will make a few more changes. Hopefully, if Natarajan is fit, it will be interesting to see whether they go with three pacers, with three foreign players. I mean, you can
Absolutely.
even drop a Sean Abbott and you can play Kartik Tyagi, Umran Malik, Natarajan, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I mean, a deadly Indian bowling pace quartet over there. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
think it will be interesting to see how Sunrisers go. But now they will not at all be happy. From 5 wins out of 7 games, sitting comfortably, say at number three, almost in the second spot, to coming down in the fifth or sixth spot, 5 wins out of 10. This will not at all satisfy them. Also, having won the toss, so it's a big concern for them. On the contrary, Delhi Capitals will be very happy. I mean, they are batting. Prithvi Shaw, I think Prithvi Shaw injured, or was it just dropped?
There was no clear update. I think he was injured, or else they wouldn't have changed Prithvi Shaw from the top order for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But again, you have players like Yash Dhul waiting in your dugout, and you go with Mandeep Singh, who was given 2 opportunities early on in the season, did not look in any form, and today also Bhuvneshwar Kumar set him up perfectly. Two
Right.
outswingers, two in swingers, and a ball that kept straight. He just nicked it.
I
So
mean,
it was a
it's just
perfect setup.
a travesty at this point that they're still going on with a player like Mandeep Singh because I've not seen anything good of him in the last couple of seasons, especially if you've noticed how his gameplay has been. It's been one of those that it doesn't look like he's going to score runs at any point. Other than one of the knocks he played in Sharjah a couple of years ago for Punjab, he's not done anything in IPL at all. And what you remember
And
is
he just
Mandeep Singh
averages
coming
around
into one.
21. He just
Yes,
averages around 21 in IPL
I
over
mean,
13, 14
it's
years.
unfair on players like Kona Bharat who's sitting on the wings in the same team. Yash
Yeah.
Dhul, who's been opening the batting for Delhi in the domestic circuit as well. He's done exceedingly well opening the batting in the Ranji Trophy and also in Under 19 World Cup, of course. He's the Under 19 World Cup winning captain. And it's quite surprising that Delhi has not given the cap to an Under 19 winning captain. Since they have missed out on Virat Kohli in 2008, every time they picked up an Under 19 winning captain and given him a cap. Let it be in 2012 with Umut Chand, let it be 2018 with Prithvi Shaw, and let it be now. So it's always been the case with Delhi Capitals that they pick up an under 19 winning captain and handing over the cap, and of course, a couple of them has really come out well for them. And now I believe the Yash Dul should get an opportunity. Prithvi Shaw is missing out. Having said that, let's look at the points table now. How does the points stand after Delhi's win today? As we can see, it's a very interesting points table, and I see a jam which might be formed between four teams there: RCB, Delhi Capitals, Sunrisers, and Punjab Kings. And mind you, the moment Rajasthan Royals lose their next match, that's going to be a jam for two spots. And that's going to be very interesting leading into the last week of the tournament. And that's something which we've seen with IPL over and over again. that you might see two teams dropping out in the last moment and two teams creeping in. We do not know who those two teams are going to be because Lucknow and Gujarat Titans have almost sealed their spots in the playoffs. It just looks like it because both have got 4 games in hand. All what they need is possibly 2 points and possibly 2 wins. I don't see them dropping their net run rate also considerably low. So I think they both have sealed the positions pretty. It pretty much looks like that. Who do you reckon can be the dark horse for the race for number 4? Because in my opinion, I still think it's going to be Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings have got that potent bowling attack and also Shikhar Dhawan coming back in form. We've seen that with them, and with Liam Livingston batting the way he is, they could be the dark horse for number 4, isn't it?
I mean, you know who I am rooting for, but statistically speaking, it is very difficult for KKR to now sort of make it with 4 out of 4 wins, or maybe winning 3 out of 4 and hoping that all the other teams collapses. So it is going to be very difficult for them. But the main cluster is
Let's look
between
at
the five.
KKR's chances. As you mentioned, KKR, let's look at their chances of being in that top 4 as well because they've got a couple of very big games coming up. They've got 2 games against the Lucknow Super Giants. And if they can get 2 wins out of that, Lucknow Super Giants stay at 14. And KKR are right now also, they're at 8 points now. If
8,
they
yeah.
win, they go to 10. Who are they playing next? KKR, let's pull that out. KKR are
KKR
playing.
is playing Lucknow next, and then they have
Yes.
one game apiece against Gujarat Titans and Mumbai Indians, and then again they play Lucknow in the last
No, they
fixture.
have only 1 game against Lucknow. They have a game against Mumbai Indians. They have a game against Sunrises. And yeah, they're playing Lucknow in the end as well. Sorry,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
So no Gujarat
So,
Titans,
no
Sunrisers,
Gujarat.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
so they play Lucknow on the 18th. They play Lucknow on the. They play Lucknow day after tomorrow as well, which is actually tomorrow. It's already 12 now.
yeah,
So yeah, it's going to be very interesting for KKR if they can get 2 wins out of that, and if they tilt past Sunrises, they halt Sunrisers there all of a sudden, and if they
yeah.
can halt Lucknow also over there, 2 games as we were speaking, Lucknow might need 2 games if they lose 2 games badly as well. They'll be on 18, but still, you're looking at possible qualification chances, and it's the best time to play Mumbai Indians as well, isn't it?
Yeah. See, it's a lot of speculation. Also, it's a very good time to play Mumbai Indians. They have beaten them in the last 2 fixtures that they faced them against. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of speculation. We have just gone past the 50th game this season out of the 70 group stage games. So I
yeah,
think it's a long way to go still. We can have this conversation after this weekend. I think
yeah.
it will be a lot more clearer. We'll have another 5 games. We'll go another 5 games deep, and almost
Yes.
80%
As
of
we
the group
speak,
stage will be over.
we'll also look at Delhi Capitals' chances because Delhi Capitals, the win today has definitely boosted their confidence. They're going to be playing CSK next. Game against CSK is going to be massive because CSK is coming off a loss against RCB for sure. But then you don't write them off. They can possibly pull off an upset here and there. Rajasthan Royals with Delhi Capitals is going to be the game, and ultimately, I think the game of the tournament, which is going to possibly decide the chances, will be Punjab versus Delhi on 16th. Because that game
Yeah, I
is
think
going to
we have
be,
a lot of exciting games on the last weekend. I think
yeah.
those will also play a very important factor. So I
As
think it's
always,
still
I
a
think it's
yeah.
going to the last day of the last match to decide who's going to go into the playoff. Possibly in the last week and last 3 days to understand who's going to go to the playoffs, and that's why we love the game. That's why we love the IPL because yet again, even with 10 teams, we are seeing this, and though 2 teams are almost out of it, but still 8 teams are still fighting out.
Yeah, so definitely it's very exciting to see that all the 5 or 6 teams, barring Chennai and Mumbai, the 5 and 6 teams that are fighting for potentially 2 spots. Also, let's not keep Lucknow Super Giants too safely. I mean, they are at 14 of 10 games, so they just necessarily have to win just one game to ensure qualification. But if Kolkata manages to beat them twice, I mean, they will also be under pressure. I think the next game, even if they lose the next one, they won't feel that pressure. I think 2 more losses will prompt Lucknow to be a bit desperate. Other
They
than
have
that,
some tough fixtures. They have Gujarat Titans on 10th. Then they play Rajasthan Royals, a good-looking Rajasthan Royals, of course, and they play LSG as well. So no, they play Kolkata as well again. So I think that's not going to be easy at all. Because Kolkata are really desperate for win. Gujarat Titans are looking on proper song. Rajasthan Royals, you know that they're in great form as well. If they lose three out of those, and if the net run rate dips slightly, all of a sudden Lucknow Super Giants are going to be in serious pressure to qualify as well.
No, I think 16 points will ensure them the qualification. It's just that they might
I
drop
really
from the
don't think
top
so,
two spot.
Sandipani. I think 16 points will
Yeah,
be a
again,
cutoff,
again, there
but
has to
net
be a
run
lot
rate
of
will
speculation.
decide the qualification.
I think 14 points with net run rate will give the fourth spot. That is my intuition. That my gut feeling is that 14 points will with the greater superior net run rate will decide the fourth team that qualifies. But
Very
let's see. I
interesting.
mean, 4 out of 10. If we have to select 4 out of the top 10 teams, then I think you should win more than 50% of the games. So 7 wins might not be enough. Let's see. We are still as we said that
It has
at
come
the
to a
weekend we
stage
can.
in the tournament where no teams would want to lose. Even they don't want to experiment. I bet even Gujarat Titans, who tried to experiment the last match by batting first, they wouldn't want to do that at all because they would want that top two spot. Because once you're in one and two, you get that extra game. Even if at all you have that slip up in that playoff. And I reckon they'll be playing that qualifier one in Kolkata, and they'll be back to Ahmedabad for the final at all if they qualify, and for qualifier two as well. So it's going to be very interesting as to who plays that and who stays in Kolkata as well. So very interesting times. Kolkata would love to be one of those teams, of course, to play at their home ground in front of 60,000 fans, and I'm expecting it's going to be 1 lakh fans, is what Saurav Ganguly has promised. 1 lakh fans in Eden Gardens rooting for the purple team is going to be just brilliant if they make it at all. But
Yeah,
or else
fingers
you might see
crossed.
some other team as well. Kolkata fans are desperate for some cricket because they got the game against West Indies earlier this year, and you saw a great turn up there. There was of course restrictions, but 1 lakh fans would be just majestic in the Eden Gardens, isn't it? And I bet you'd be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. If Kolkata makes it, definitely. Even if Kolkata does not make it, I might still be there. Let's see. Let's see how the tournament goes.
Right. Having said that, we'll come to the end of today's show because we have been discussing a lot of permutations and combinations, and a lot of fans watching us are all of a sudden excited, looking at their math calculators, opening up. What is the way that our team can qualify? Mumbai Indians fans and Chennai Super Kings fans, outside stance is still there. Chennai, if
No,
they win,
Mumbai Indians fans can stop their calculation. I mean, it's just the Chennai Super Kings fans, they can still calculate. With 4 wins and a superior net run rate, you might just be able to make it.
Chennai Super Kings will be high in that match, and it's going to be a huge match on Sunday when they play. They would want to win it big, and I'm telling you cannot rule out anything until the last day. And Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians just like they can spoil party of many of these teams as well. So it's upon them to
Definitely.
play the party poopers role from here on, and many teams will be hoping that they do as well. Having said that, let's talk about the fantasy side of things. Like, how did it go today for all of us? I had a terrific day. I'll confess that first up because I had David Warner as my captain, and as in my team, I had Robin Powell and also Nicholas Pooran. So it went pretty well for me.
Yeah,
How about
same.
you?
I mean, I had a very good day because 40% of the people had David Warner as the captain. So yeah, it was a good day in the Grand League because even I had Robin Powell, I had Khalil Ahmed, and yeah, Nicholas Puran was also a definite choice because he averaged around 69 before this game, and again he scored a brilliant half century. And also Aiden Markram. I mean, Aiden Markram and Nicholas Puran has been the backbone for Sunrisers Hyderabad batting. There has been Rahul Tripathi coming in and scoring those 70s and 60s in 2-3 games, but it's mainly those those innings from Aiden Markram and Nicholas Puran which is giving Sunrisers that stability where they can score some 170, 180 consistently. Because we had not seen Sunrisers score this big previously. I mean, there was David Warner, but he was just playing a one-man race. I mean, he would score 600 runs in the tournament. Other than him, I think there was Manish Pandey who would get some 350, 340, and
Yeah,
Bairstow would leave the tournament halfway. So Sunrisers had never like got this sort of a stable backbone in the middle order. So it's
yeah.
very good to see also their mentor Brian Lara. I've always said Dale Steyn and Brian Lara are possibly the best two mentors to have for a team for batting and bowling respectively. I mean, they are just brilliant at their work and they are grooming their talents brilliantly.
But they'll also have a lot of job and a lot of questions to ponder upon because
Yeah.
losing three games in a row is never easy in a tournament. All of a
Team
sudden, they might
composition.
team
Sunrisers
composition.
Hyderabad, it's going to be
Yeah,
team composition is going to be very important
yeah.
because
And
if they
momentum
get the
has to be
team
factor as
composition right, yeah, 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 yeah.
a
One win,
loss
and
will
again, I
be
think
smarter
Sunrisers
than that.
Hyderabad will be very confident.
Right, right. And they'll be hoping, they come good against RCB. They'll have good memories playing against this franchise. Quite a lot of times we've seen that in 2020 Eliminator last year in the last game, they spoiled the party for RCB from being in the top two. Today, that this time around in the first leg of the game, they bowled RCB for 68. And today they'll be feeling much better. They're facing RCB next, but you never know. RCB is also a team who's desperate for a win. So it all depends on the team combinations and what they put out on the field on that on 9th of May actually. So we'll be intrigued for that game because every game from now on is going to be an interesting one. Having said that,
Yeah,
thank you for
definitely.
joining, Sandeepani. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I request everybody to join us on Boomer Live Daily. So subscribe our channel right now and click the bell icon, and also like our videos so that we keep you entertained with more of these contents daily after the game. And also join us for our Twitter space for the preview, and we also do some of the fantasy predictions there. For more of the fantasy predictions, we do top 5 fantasy picks on our Instagram page, and we also give some funny meme content. So follow our Instagram page for that. And also play our fantasy contest on Boom 11. What are you waiting for? Just go and test your fantasy skills right now because it's totally free to play, and you can challenge your friends out there for the bragging rights, of course, and you can win prizes worth up to $5,000 this IPL. So if you like the video, share it and also comment on it. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, guys. Good night.